Hello, everyone. I am Katina Ann, and welcome to Talkshoplive. So I'm going to get this started. Let me go to Instagram. I'm going to be streaming on Instagram as well. So let's get this going and see if it pops up and gets me in there. If not, then it'll be. Um, I have to like toggle it back and forth just to make sure it works. So thank you for joining my show. I'm super. I am like very, very proud of just being on here, and I want to first of all thank Talk Shop Live for having me on their platform to be able to promote my book and many more to come. So I'm super excited about that. I actually I'm looking to get my my Instagram to go, but I don't see it on the live for Instagram. So just give me a second while I get that going. And while you're waiting, if you can't join me today, so all the comments will be saved for later. They'll be on the YouTube and also on Talk Shop Live. And it will also be on Instagram if I can pull the Instagram to go up live, but I don't see where it's live for me. So I am going to just keep talking for 1 second until I can see why it's not going into Instagram. But actually, thank you for being on my show. I greatly appreciate it. I don't see why Instagram is not pulling up. Let me go back and make sure that I did something right. So just bear with me for a second. Add a title in here really, really quick. And while I'm waiting for others actually to come on the show, I am going to keep talking for just a second. I just want to make sure I don't see my Instagram actually pulling up what I need for it to pull up. So it just may be YouTube and Talk Shop Live for today, you guys. And in the future, I'll be able to get the Instagram to work because I don't want to hold up your time anymore as well. Let me see if I can get it to work. See if that live will click in there. Give me a second. I'm actually trying to stream to go live and it's not letting me go live on here. Give me 1 second. Let me update. Okay. Let me see if I can go live on my phone, you guys, for just a second. My Instagram is not actually coming up the way it should be for the live. So, Sam, I am not seeing, even on my phone, it's not actually showing live on my Instagram as well. Can you pull instructions to see if I need to pull that over or if I just need to just go live? And which browser do I go live from Is it Talk Shop Live? Okay. So I'm on live. Hmm. Okay. I am on the Instagram app, but it's not allowing me to, when I click on live, it's not allowing me to go live. Okay. So Sam, is this just going to be like a standalone, like Instagram, to where it's going to be separate from Talk Shop Live? So will there be a merge on that or no? Do I just do my own live and just save it and record it? Okay. Yes, it is. So just do a standalone Instagram live. Okay, and still have people comment on there, and I'll also let them know as well. All right, I'll go live here as well, and I'm going to actually get started. Thank you, Sam, so very much. All right, I'm going to start Instagram, and then also actually Talk Shop Live is actually going, so I'm going to get started here, you guys. So welcome to Talk Shop Live. So once again, I want to thank Talk Shop Live for having me on their platform to actually introduce my book, which is Divine Strength. I published this book back in 2024. And so I was very, very proud of this book with some of the other books that I wrote about, I want to say about 5 or 6 years ago. And so I wanted to kind of give not like a real life kind of motivation, but something that people can relate to. And so I love Paris. Paris is like a place where I enjoy. It's peaceful, it's calm. And so one of the things that kind of made me write this one was just the heart of Paris, and just actually, having that intuition of just being able to kind of not fantasize, but actually kind of put into motion something that's not like realistic towards me, but just like for people to view and just enjoy and to read. And so, once again, my name is Katina Ann, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So, I am actually a doctoral student. I I'm a nurse by trade. I've been in the healthcare field for over 25 years. And so I've just been able to just kind of bring all the experience that I have, even as a therapist, just talking to my clients and hearing the stories and the history about, what they've been through, and like what would life look like if they done this. So I found this to be pretty cool, pretty exciting, pretty kind of straightforward into my world. And so I'm very excited about being able to write plenty more books of this. There's going to be plenty more of these to come out. Also, I have some other series coming out for children books, but this one is one that kind of hit home to me. I really like it. I thought it was sensual, talking about just the strengths and the everyday life. And so I just kind of want to put it out there and just see how it goes. So Michelle from Talk Shop Live, she asks, "Hi, what does divine strength turn you into everyday life?" And so when you look at divine strength, Michelle, it's more of not about like day to day life. A lot of times we get in the hustle and bustle, and we sit back and we reminisce and we say, "Hey, what would that life look like today if I done this?" And we don't know the future. We know our past, but we don't know the future. And so I wanted to bring something that not just brings something to home for people of day to day things, but I wanted to make it more like, what could it be like? So what if I'm strolling down the streets of Paris and I'm in a bakery or a coffee shop, and wow, I can sit there and just enjoy the fresh smell of the bread and the coffee and just seeing the amazing people come by. And so when I look at my life and sharing those things, it's about, hey, what if it could have been that? What if that would have happened? And we all have different things that we want to enjoy out of life, and, things that we actually look for. And so I thought, hey, I'm just going to write a pretty cool, romantic type of book. It's a motivational journey. I do a lot of motivational speaking about things, and so I thought that would be something pretty cool. It's not a history of my life or what's happening to me in general, but I wanted to use like nonfiction characters to just kind of envision. You're sitting at home and you're watching TV, and then you're looking at this and you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. What if this would have been? And so Robbie asked, how long did it take you to write this book? So Robbie, I've been in writing and journal and like school all my life, and so writing is a thing for me. And when I sat down and decided to write this book, it took me about, I want to say about 6 months to really just kind of envision like what would it look like to people if they bought this book? Like what would it look like if this was them, strolling down the streets of Paris, or if it was, one of those things. And so that's why I wrote it, and it took me that long. It could have went a little faster, I think, but you just don't want to write a book and it's just like, oh my God, I'm just going to write about a character and just kind of enjoy it, and it's going to be funny and cool. But as a person that's into writing and journals and things like that, I really like look at these books and make sure that what I'm reading, I want you to read the same and feel the same. I don't want it to feel like a rush type of job that I'm doing on my books. I just want it to be real. I want it to be real life sharing. So that's about how long it took me to read this book and write it. Mary asks on Talk Shop Live, what daily habits help you stay spiritually grounded? So for me, Mary, I do a lot of different things, and it reflects the book. So I'm just going to pretty much say this. So in the book, how I keep myself grounded is spiritually. We have to be careful of like, the spiritual. I'm Jewish. I've been a conservative Jewish, for about 10 years. And so what that looks like for me may not look like for you. So spiritually, I have to kind of think about how it looks for me, but not display it, for everyone else, and what would it look like for everyone else. So for me, I ground myself. I look at what's real. I look at, I have, I'm in a doctoral program. I'm almost done. I'm a student pilot. I'm a nurse. And I continue to do all those things. It's not one that I put on hold and say I'll get back to it in 10 years. These are consecutive things that I do each and every single day. So when I look at it spiritually, we have a different culture that we do certain things. And so I take that time out to reflect on, like me as a person, like what time spent for me can I, have my self-care and, be able to still stay motivated, not try to do a lot of different things at once and try to defeat the world. But, you really have to put your steps in motion, and you really, really, really have to think about, what is it that you really want to do? If it's something you love and you really want to do it, do it. But spiritually, just make sure that you're all in with it and that it's not just something you're throwing out there, because I look at it like everybody has to read this thing, and I want people to connect with it, spiritually, as far as what it is for them, not for me, because, I have a different culture, but, what it is for them. And, is this something, if they're going through things or if they're going through relationships. I'm a relationship coach, I'm a therapist in couple counseling. And so I look at it as I want it to be like a vessel for them. I want it to be something that, hey, this is something maybe I can reflect off of. Maybe I can take a little bit of this, and read some of the pieces and be able to put that towards my life. Who knows? Lindsay asks, curious, are you a morning writer, late night? Are you a morning or a late night inspiration? So Lindsay, I am all around everything. So I do my best work at night. I rarely ever get a lot of sleep because now I'm on the go, and we talk about that self-care, but I do know how to prioritize that. But when it's something that I want to do, I find my best work at night. Only because I see clients during the day. I have a lot going on during the day. So it's a little bit hard for me to disconnect. Hey, I'm going to write a book. And then I have like 15 clients I'm seeing, throughout the day. And so that wouldn't be very beneficial. So you really have to focus on what time is the most that you can think, logically, and that you can feel like, hey, I can sit down and I can chill on these things, and I can really think about what it is that, I want to do and how I want to write it. But for me, I find my best work at night. Mary, Alyssa, how did your own experience influence the themes you explore? So when I look at this, so not only this, Alyssa, but when I look at like my life and my journey, as far as working with different people of different cultures, different nature, different all kind of things, I look at it as the experiences that I've gained over the 25 years, it's real. It's nothing fictional about, me taking care of 15 clients a day or seeing 30 clients, in a week's time. It's more of the experience of getting to connect with them mentally. And although this is a fictional type book, it doesn't relate to me personally. It's just something that I wanted to kind of put out there to have someone, other people feel like it's a vessel in life. But when I look at the experiences behind it, it's I don't know, it's more of, you take those little bits and pieces of what you hear, and how you coach your clients and how you tell the story and then how you present the story. I think that influences a lot of my own experiences. Everything that I've learned and what I've been through is through experiences. It's not a made up kind of thing. And so I put those pieces together and I make them work. Dakota from Talk Shop Live asks, how did you decide what personal stories or lessons to include? So this is Dakota. This is a fictional type book. This is more of when you talk about personal stories, it's not a personal story or game from like my clients or any of those. And it's not a personal, nothing personal that I've been through. It's more of what what's the realistic thing when I'm talking. I'll give you an example, like a couple in my counseling, or if it's a single person who wants to know, like, wow, why am I not getting this out of my relationship? And so I look at it like, hey, this personal story is not something that's derived from just things out there. It's about people that is living that life. And so I'm proud of this. I'm very proud of Divine Strength because it's about people living that life, whether it's a great life, whether it's a um, not so great life, and some of the things that they've been through. And so I just archived all that here, and and looked at what if I can write a semantic, about your beginning, your journey, your beginning. The first chapter was new beginnings. And so this is what I tell my clients, what if you could start over? What if you could start over and you pick any place you want to go? Me, it's Paris. But what if you want to pick a place? What would that look like for you? How would it start? And so my first chapter was new beginnings, because everybody has a new beginning in life. You pick yourself up and you start over again. And so that's why I chose that as my first chapter of my book, was the new beginning. Allie wrote, do you have a favorite part of the book that you could read for us? Maybe just a paragraph or two. Absolutely. And so one of the actual sections in my book, chapter 1, under the new beginnings, this is one that I really, really like. I think it's pretty cool. So I'll read just a little bit of it. And before I read it, Allie, Danny from Talk Shop Live asks, how should readers approach the book for the best experience? So Danny, you approach this as, and I'm not just speaking at you, but just speaking in general for everyone that's on in the audience. You approach this book as, hey, whether my life is this or whether my life is that, whether it's good or whether it's bad. I don't want you to depict it as, I'm going through this, and by reading this book, gosh, why isn't my life like this? Because we're all different. We're not the same. Our relationships are not the same. And where, one relationship is, yours may not be, or whoever. But I want you to look at it as, wow, this is a book that is not about anyone or anything. I'm reading something, I'm having fun. I enjoy just being in the moment. So we're going to call it the moment, just living in the moment. So that's how you approach this book. It's living in the moment and just looking at from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 8, what this story looks like. It's pretty cool. And before I read a section, so I'll tell you what the chapters are so you can get an idea, Danny, of the approach behind this book and how just looking at it like in the moment. So chapter 1 was new beginning. Chapter 2, who are you? Chapter 3, the moment. Chapter 4, close encounters. Chapter 5, undercurrents. Chapter 6, revelations in the rain. Chapter 7, crossroads. And chapter 8, as a leap of faith. So take it as this. That last chapter, chapter 8, look at it as a leap of faith. So whatever you derive from, how you feel about journeys, relationships, wanting to do things better, just look at it as a leap of faith. Is this going to be something good for me, or is it going to be something that's not good for me? All right, Allie. So here's a part of my section in chapter 1, New Beginnings. So another chance at loving life is envisioning solitude and happiness. The perfect person coming into your life to soothe your soul, be in one with your heart, and face struggles, love, and happiness together. Will hold you down, only come to find that you are missing yourself. Gratitude in life is being able to block obstacles, finding your way without others swaying your heart and your mind. Focused strength empowers us to look at situations and carefully decide if we are attuned with ourselves to bring another into our lives. Guided thoughts allow for new beginnings. In this lifetime, struggles and situations allow us not to move on or even trust ourselves. The dimness of these visions blocks our subconscious mind from battling those images of truth. I have always thought that self sabotaging our minds allows us to miss out on the most important things in life. Valuing our hearts and souls is finding the right connections, personally and professionally, to allow us to grow in our careers and love life. So that's the part that I truly, truly love, you guys. And just another thing. So if you are on actually Talk Shop Live, please, please, please comment shop. Click on that button for shop in order to get the link so you can purchase the book. And then on Instagram, I'll have to pin it actually when I'm done on Instagram. So then I'll do the same for there. So please, please continue to comment. Click, put in the section shop, and then the link will come to you for the purchase of the book. Thank you guys for the questions. It's pretty cool. Christian asked on Talk Shop Live, is there a chapter that you feel is the heart of the book? Man, gosh, Christian, that's a very great question. I feel like the heart of this one for me, the heart of my book, is chapter 8, The Leap of Faith. And I'm going to explain why. And so after I gave you all the chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, the ending part of chapter 8 is the leap of faith. So in our lives, we look at every situation, everything. We look at how we choose our partners. We look at how we, just how we see life in general. So when I looked at the leap of faith, that last one that I wrote, it was more of a guided experience of, if you take a leap of faith, no matter if it's romance, if it's a journey, if it's something, you want to do, take a class, I don't know. I look at it as if you do it with intentions, good faith, and a good heart. And taking a leap of faith, we don't know where it's going to take us, but it doesn't hurt to try. And so that's the very heart and soul of my book, is the last chapter, chapter 8. Pam on Talk Shop Live asks, why did you choose the title Divine Strength? Love it. It feels powerful. So Divine Strength, Pam, thank you for sharing that. Divine Strength is one that it empowers us to do better. It empowers us to do more. It empowers us to just, live life to the fullest, whether, it's something that we're going through in life in general, or if it's going through, things, or, if it's not going through things, we all have things personally that we go through. And I just feel like divine strength gives that person the empowerment to say, you know what, even when the tough is tough and the tough gets going, I have the strength to continue to move forward. And that's why I chose divine strength. You always have the strength in your own power to do whatever you want to, not no one else, but yourself. So that's why I chose divine strength. I think it was a powerful message. I think it was a fortitude kind of thing going through the chapters of, how I wrote the book and how I structured it. With the new beginnings and who are you, because it's leading you up to at the end, which is the leap of faith, is that I have the strength to do anything. And so that's why I chose divine strength. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Kayla from Talk Shop Live asks, what do you hope readers take from the book after finishing it? Can't wait to read. So what I hope readers take from this book is that you empower yourselves, that you empower everything that you do, and not only in a fictional standpoint. This book is almost read to be almost like a real driven life book. But you look at it as this is something that I love to read. I think it was a journey, not for myself, but just for the moment. You're living in the moment and you take that. And that's what I hope the readers get from it, that they enjoyed the book. They understood, you got the new beginnings to a leap of faith, and that anything we do is a active leap of faith. And, that's pretty much what I hope, just to get enjoyment out of it. And hopefully it empowers someone, to have them move on to the next thing. Maybe it's, hey, I want to build a car, but I just don't have, I just don't have the energy to do it or the motivation to do it. But anything is possible. All you got to do is just have faith, the strength behind it. So that's what I hope readers take from this book after finishing it. Thank you for that question. That was a great question to ask. So yeah, so this is pretty much part of my book. So I'm super excited about it. So please hit and type in shop, and then actually this will be on the platform for a little bit. I chose this cover because I thought it was kind of perfect. You have couples just, walking along a beach, the sun is out, and they're just taking a leap of faith in life. And I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, that's why I chose that cover. I thought it was pretty cool, you guys. So thank you for joining this. This was pretty cool. Any other questions? Please continue. Put shop, and then we will definitely make sure that we get this out. Oh, I thought there was another question. So all right, you guys, any other questions for me? I'm super excited to be on. There will be many more to come. Hopefully you get a lot of enjoyment out of this book. I think it was absolutely cool. I'm trying to think if there's another section, the crossroads. So I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to let you purchase this book, and I want you to read it all the way through. I'll mention the characters in the book. There are not any characters that I know or anything that's depicted from anyone personally. I just thought, the characters was something just non-realistic, just kind of give some strong intentional names in the book to make it happen. I also wrote that the concept of this was the love, the self-discovery, and stability of this book as well. So yeah, that's pretty much Talk Shop Live. Thank you so much for having me on. And like I said, Instagram, I'll have it where the information is pinned, and then Talk Shop Live, if you can put shop into the comment section, and then we'll definitely get those to you. So thank you guys for joining the show. Thank you so much, and hope to see you many more to come on some more of my books that will be out. And thank you, and can't wait to hear more of the comments. Now this will actually be streaming also off of Talk Shop Live. I believe Sam told me that it'll be on YouTube and other places for a while, so you'll be able to see it again. And so hopefully you enjoyed the show. Thank you for joining me, and until then, I will see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.